everybody. Today I'm talking about my Rahu Ketu temple trip in 2025. It is from 6th of February to 17th of February, and it is in beautiful Kerala. The reason I'm doing this Rahu Ketu temple trip is because in 2025 there's a major Saturn Rahu conjunction. And so we are seeking the blessing of Rahu, as well as visiting goddess temple. We are going to visit two avatara temples for Parashurama, who's the avatara for Venus, as well as Vamana, who's the avatara for Jupiter, so that we get a lot of blessings. And it is going to be a very interesting trip with many various temples to visit. So let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking a Rahu temple trip in India in 2025. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the Rahu Ketu temples India trip, 6th February to 17th February 2025. This photograph is from Mannarsala, which is one of the great temples for Rahu Ketu. And this is me at Nagaraja temple in Nagercoil. And my website is komilla.com. So the whole program is listed there. So what about our Rahu Ketu temples trip? So it is in beautiful Kerala, and we are going to be at three places: POOVAR, which is south of Kerala, then Kumarakom and Backwaters, and Fort Cochin. And these are actually POOVAR backwaters right next to our hotel in POOVAR. So what about my history of the India trips? I began taking trips to India. My first trip was to Delhi, Rajasthan in 1999. So far, I've organized 21 trips. I was counting them. I was impressed myself. Last trip was Nakshatra temples in 2024, and I am doing a goddess temple trip just now in North India. It's very rare that I do 2 trips a year. Normally, it's just 1 trip a year. But because I wanted to do goddess and Rahu Ketu together, so I'm at present here, then I'm... so the aim is to introduce you to the land of Jyotisha and the spiritual roots of India. I thoroughly research each trip and want to give an experience that is not easy to find. You see, it's not a normal trip that we are doing. It is a spiritual journey, but it's also a journey into Jyotish, into Vedic astrology, because that's what I am, and I want to do a program that reflects that. So these are some of the temple trips. This is Lakshmi. She's was the elephant from Pondicherry. She's no longer with us, but she was a lovely friend, and this was the last photo I had of hers. Then these are in Chidambaram, we did a yagya, so very big fire ceremony. And this one photo is from the Mars temple. I do the Navagraha trip. I've done a few times now. And so this was a visit to the Mars temple, Vedishwaran Kovil. And this one is Kumbheshwara temple. This is where the Mahamagham starts, and this elephant is called Mangala. Now you see rarely elephants in the temples in India. because people are protesting about it. But that used to be the culture there. And these three guys were serving us in Rajasthan, beautifully dressed in Pushkar. And this is Pushkar, the rare Brahma temple. My first trip in 1999 was to Pushkar. And this was 2018 when we went to Pushkar. And we had a wonderful time. We would go early morning and do the Abhishekam when nobody was awake and we were just among the few people attending. And the temples are a beautiful, wonderful experience. And this is me at the gorgeous Meenakshi temple in Madurai. And of course, you see all sorts of interesting things. There's a priest already on his scooter. And this was in our 2020 trip just before COVID hit. This lady, she's called Komal, and she runs a school with about 3,000 students. And she said, come and visit my school. So we thought it's just a casual visit. And they had done such a grand event for us. And you can see with the malas and the students. And it was really something fabulous in Andhra Pradesh, just next to Tirupati. And the thing with the trips is they have a life of their own. So you never know what is in store. We can organize as well as we want to. And this is Nageshwara. This is the temple for Rahu. And we are not visiting this temple. We did that earlier. Last year, we did that post-COVID, the first trip. Nageshwara, it is... Thiru means Sir, Nageshwara is the Lord of the snakes, and that is Lord Shiva. But this is a temple people go to worship for Rahu Ketu stuff. And so these are some of the students from our trip. I think this is the Navagraha trip, and this is the Ketu temple that we are here. And this is Kritika temple. You can see Julie, Gayatri, myself, and Kavita. Very colorful, as you can see. Our clothing as well as the temples are beautiful. Actually, Kerala is a bit more sober, but these are some of the pictures. And this is Chidambaram temple, the temple for the Akash Bhuta, the element of ether. And so this is always my most special temple. So I like to end with my history to this. So you can see that I've done a lot of these temples. So why should you do the Rahu Ketu pilgrimage? We seek the blessing of Rahu Ketu goddesses, Lord Ganesha, Surya, Saturn, Lord Shiva, Vishnu, during this trip. And you see, the pilgrimage is always a way of purifying your chart, of trying to work with the issues you have in the chart, as well as dashas and transits. So this pilgrimage, last time I did it was 2016. And this temple is specially organized as a remedy for Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. There is a major Saturn-Rahu conjunction in Pisces on 14th of April, 2025. And actually from 29th of March right up to middle of May, Saturn Rahu are together. And this conjunction happens once every 11 years. So we want the blessing of the goddess and Rahu Ketu to deal with the challenging conjunction. So actually, this is the reason I have two trips. I'm right now in a trip. I haven't started it as yet. I'm at my home in Chandigarh. But we are going to the goddess temples and Shani temples here, Chandigarh and lower Himalayas. We are going to Chintapurni, Jwalaji, and Naina Devi, plus lots of other Shani temples and goddess temples. They all live around here where I am. So, and I'm also dressed in goddess colors, as you can see. So This Saturn Rahu conjunction is very challenging for the world, as well as if it fits you directly, yes. But otherwise, also in your own chart, you may have Rahu Ketu always bit troublesome for all of us, and Shani teaching us some lessons. So Kerala is known as God's own country. It is beautiful and divine. And the two great Avatara temples which we will visit, Parashurama, Venus Avatara for Lord Vishnu, Vamana, Jupiter Avatara for Lord Vishnu. Now, both these temples we are actually allowed to go inside. Some of the Kerala temples, they are quite difficult. There's another famous Padmanabh temple for Lord Vishnu, but where only Hindus can go in. But we'll still go and visit it from outside and get its energy and blessing. So the thing about Kerala, what is special about Kerala is that it is Lord Parashurama's land. And Lord Parashurama is the Venus incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And basically, what happened was that Lord Parashurama took away the land from 21 Kshatriya lineages and he gave it away to all the uh, spiritual gurus and things. So finally, he had no place to live himself. So he asked Lord Varuna, who's the king of the oceans, that where should I live? Please give me some land. So from a place in Mangalore, there's a Someshwara temple. Lord Parashurama threw his parachute and it landed at the tip of Kerala in Azimala Shiva temple. So that whole area where the Parashuru landed. So remember, he's a in Avatara, so it wasn't just a small area. So that whole area, which is also known as Malabar Coast, Konkan Coast, all that was nowadays modern day Kerala mostly, below Mangalore. All that land became Lord Parashurama's land. And then what happened was that when the waters moved away, and so this was all the land, beautiful, green, and lush. So when the land was available, then the snake said, we don't have any place for ourselves, and people are destroying us, they are killing us. So Lord Parashurama made southwest in every house as a special area for sarpas, for Rahu worship. And actually, Kerala is also southwest of India. But in each house, in each city, the southwest land belonged to the sarpas, and they had total security to live there. So to do any remedy for Rahu Ketu is very special to do it in Kerala. And Lord Parashurama is supposed to, is Amar, eternal. So he lives up there and he's Vishnu incarnation of Venus. And so you see that it is very beautiful, Kerala. It is so lush and green. And also, when our trip begins, it begins in POOVAR. So actually, to come to POOVAR, you have to land in Thiruvananthapuram. And then that's right at the bottom of India. And then we'll drive up to Cochin. And then the trip ends in Cochin, where you can take a flight. So you can buy these flights online, very easy. If you do multiple city flights, it is not difficult. You don't have to go to an agent. And all the websites will do that for you. And so this is a special trip to venerate the Rahu Ketu energy within us and to deal with issues brought from past life that we struggle with now. So that is what is going to be the aim of the trip. So My trips, I'm very lucky. I have very good travel partners in India. So on arrival, you'll be picked up at the airport with our excellent travel organizer. So you have to book your own ticket, but once you reach, they will be there to guide you and take you. And so, coming into India, it's late night flights, everything. So there's full security. They will be having your name there with you. So we are going to honor the Saturn Rahu conjunctions of 2025 by visiting two most important temples of Rahu Ketu. The Nagaraja temple in Nagercoil. So Nagercoil is a city for the snakes. Nagar means snake, Coil means city. It's a big city in South India. And the temple there, Nagaraja temple, I showed you some photographs. I've been there many times. And then we will also do the Sree Nagaraja temple in Mannarsala, which is a little bit up more north. And then Saturn and Shiva temples of Kumarakom. So there's a lot of things to visit. So this Saturn Rahu conjunction, this is the most intense combination, takes place once every 11 years. So all of us are anticipating it. So many unusual temples will be visited along with backwaters of Kerala. Each day will be filled with temple visits. Be doing pujas, special rituals at all temples. I have great expertise. You'll view them in context of Vedic knowledge and Jyotisha. Now, I have been doing the temples in South India. I'm not born there. But I have a lot of knowledge of these areas and what we are going to be doing. So that is what makes it easier. If you go yourself, you don't really know what you're doing. And so we will be guiding you. And then the best part of the trips is always your company of fellow astrologers, spiritual aspirants from different parts of the world. For my goddess trip, we just don't have anybody from Africa, means from the continent, but we have all the rest. We have somebody from Japan, from Australia, from India. We have people from Europe, USA, Canada, South America. So it's an interesting mix of people to chat and to talk and discuss. I think that's what invigorates me as well. That is the best part of the trip. And so these are now all the pictures, mostly I've taken myself. So this is Nagaraja temple. And what you see here, this is a Rahu photograph. And you can see the Rahu, the snake here, and the lion. Rahu is supposed to be born out of a lioness. And this namaskar posture. And what you do specifically at these temples, and especially at this Nagaraja temple in Nagercoil, is that you offer the Sarpa energy, a mixture of water, milk, and turmeric. So that you see they're all yellow in color. So when you go there, you can buy these and you can pour it over the deities and we just see some more. So this is the temple inside. We are going to do a ritual inside as well. And usually they don't allow us to take pictures right at the heart of the temple, but otherwise they're very welcoming and friendly. And so here we see, this is my mom pouring this thing, my niece, pouring this. They give you the mixture of turmeric and water and milk, and then you go around the tree and you pour over the tree, and there it is. Now you can see the whole thing. There's Lord Ganesha at the back, and this is a peepal tree. Beautiful. I mean, these trees must be very, very old. They are quite spectacular in themselves. And usually these offerings of the snake gods here are all done by individuals. They will come with the offering, and then the temples put them up, and then this ritual that you do before you enter the temple. And there's one other one. So I've been many times to this temple. It's very sweet and spiritual, and there I am in the Nagaraja temple. You can see there are two sets of these murtis. There's Lord Ganesha here. I had him right at the beginning. It's very beautiful. And it's been a few years since I've gone, so I'm sure they've done more work as well. And then this is Mannarsala. Mannarsala is most mystical temple. It's the people go there for the remedy for Rahu Ketu, but it's the most mystical temple. And in these temples, especially Mannarsala, they have a list of things that you can get puja done. It's all very efficient. One of the things you'll notice is that Rahu Ketu temples and these are super efficient. And so they have this big board and you can choose and it's all very organized and honestly done. It's no this thing. So Mannarsala, and these are some pictures of Mannarsala. And this is really rare photograph. This is Nag Pushpa temple, flower. And Nag Pushpa flower is a flower. Nag Pushpa, Nag means snake. Pushpa is a Rahu Ketu flower. Sometimes they also call it Shiva Linga flower because when you look deep inside, it has a little lingam. And they're quite rare to find these Nagpushpa trees. And at the entrance of Mannarsala, they have it. And fortunately, it was flowering when I went. So that is hopefully it is flowering when we go as well. And this is a photo I've been using from Mannarsala. It's many years old, but it's so mystical. Every time you go, it's very peaceful, mystical, and kind of hypnotic is the word for it. And there are endless. People have offered these snake deities. There are endless, thousands of them there. It is really something special to see. So why should you do it? All the pilgrimages are done to deal with karma, past life issues represented by Rahu Ketu, calm down inner anxieties and fear, seek blessing for the 2025 Saturn Rahu conjunction. So then the other highlights that we will be doing is that we are going to go to the Parashurama temple. Now, that is, I've been past this temple. I haven't actually been inside myself. So it'll be something new for me. I've driven past this temple at least dozens of times. And I've always said, oh, I must go inside. So we'll be in journey together to visit the Parashurama temple. You can see he carries this instrument. This is called the Parashu. We have been to other Parashurama temples. We've been to one very famous one near Tirupati as well. But this one in Kerala, which is his land of Parashurama. And you'll see in various other temples also, he's very important. And they will have a statue of his. And remember that Parashurama is Venus incarnation of Lord Vishnu, but he's the warrior Brahmin. So you see, he's a warrior, but he's also a Brahmin. And he's regarded as eternal. That means he's still alive. He never dies. And then it is Parashurama's land. Parashurama is Venus's incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Although this photograph that I have is of Vamana. And so then some of the other highlights, we are going to visit Thiruvananthapuram. And Thiru means sir, and Anantapuram. Ananta is in Anantapuram. It's the city of Anantanaga. Anantanaga is the snake on which Lord Vishnu rests. He's the number one Sarpa, snake energy. So that is a very important temple here. This is Padmanabh temple. But unfortunately, they don't allow non-Hindus inside. They're very strict. And I don't go myself in because I object to that idea that everybody should be able to go. But those of you who are able to go, we will encourage you. And there's a pond there. It's very beautiful. Just to see the temple is very beautiful. And those of you who may be in the news that this temple where they discovered millions of dollars of jewels. It was just there and they discovered that. And so it's famous for that. You have to wear a Kerala sari to go. You can't go in. I think nowadays they allow Punjabi clothes, but they prefer Kerala sari. And so here we have the Padmanabh temple. This one is Bhagavati temple for the goddess. And here, just opposite Padmanabh temple is this Lord Ganesha temple. And because Lord Ganesha is the deity for Ketu, we will visit this. It's beautiful. Every temple has its own beauty and they are spectacular. In Kerala temples, they don't have an outward look so much as internally they are very beautiful. And then we will be going to Azimula Shiva temple. So what I was telling you is that from Mangalore, Parashurama, Lord Parashurama threw the parachute and it landed at Azimula. Azimula Shiva temple is right on the beach. So actually from the temple, you can walk down to the beach as well. I'm not as fit as I used to be, but it's a steep, they've got steps you can walk down. And it's a small temple, but it is beautiful. You can see here, there's this painting of Lord Shiva with his 5 elements, 5 heads representing 1 element each. And this is one of the gopurams of the Azimula Shiva temple. And here we can see different stories, mythology. This one is Dakshina Murti here, and the different devatas all over you. And has to know a lot to look at these temples. We are actually doing a puja and a yagya here at the Azimula temple. And then after our POOVAR visit, there will be a lot more in that we will visit. We will move on to Kumarakom. This is the first time the group is going to Kumarakom. And this photograph is of the Subramanya temple. And I'm here at the hotel with all the greenery of Kerala is famous for. Our hotel in Kumarakom is Zuri Kumarakom. It's right on the sea again. A beautiful 5-star hotel. Trying to give you a comfortable experience. The reason is this, that the temples themselves, they're quite intense. So you want to come back and you want to, just experience the energy. You don't want, at least that's what I feel, that you don't want pressurized hotel and accommodation. Maybe when you're younger, you can deal with it. And so here in Kumarakom, there's this Mahadeva Shiva temple. And it's a huge Shiva there as you enter. And it's no temple is new and young. And then this one on the right is a Surya temple. We couldn't take the photograph inside the Surya temple. But at the entrance is the lion for Surya. And so this is the Surya temple, Shiva temple. And then we will move towards Cochin and we are going to go to Vamana temple, Thirukara, for Jupiter. Vamana is the Jupiter incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And this Vamana is actually, I took the photograph from Cochin airport. So when you land in Cochin airport or take off, you will meet Vamana because Cochin is where his temple is. And here we can see Vamana story is also connected to Trivikrama Avatara, where he asked for 3 paces of land. So he's a small Brahmin, and then when that is granted to him, he becomes this huge Lord Vishnu. And he's the Jupiter incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Actually, Jupiter Ketu conjunction is happening in 2026, so we can seek that blessing. And they are very nice. You can go inside this temple and visit the temple. And it's done in Kerala style. And this is the entrance. As you enter the temple, they have this thing in, I would say it's brass plated, not gold. And then here behind me is the temple. It's in Kerala style. So Kerala style is very different from Tamil Nadu style that you saw, those big temples and all. But they are very spiritual inside and very detailed too when you go inside. And so this is the Thirikara temple. And this again, as you can see, different outfits. So I've been more than once to this temple. Of course, I'm always, if I'm in Cochin, I always like to go because I want to honor Jupiter. And then some extras are hotels. So this is our hotel behind in POOVAR. It's called Isola de Coco, Island of Coconuts. And it's right on, it's got a kind of double advantage. It's on the sea and it's also in backwaters. So one of the activities we do is we go for a backwater trip. And you see, you go through these mangroves and these backwaters is very beautiful. It's a different type of backwaters that we will go in Kumarakom. In Kumarakom, it's more spread out. Now, normally we have a night trip to the backwaters, but this year I decided that we will do a day trip, because for the night trip, you have to pack your luggage, then go there, then pack again. So at night, you just sleep. So therefore, we're going to spend the whole day and have lunch and I think generally enjoy the backwaters without troubling ourselves to pack our luggage and everything. But it's a beautiful experience. You see the life floating by, people still in boats, and how the villagers live without disturbing them, because you're on the boat. You're not really in their faces. And then they stop halfway through to a little village where you can go and walk around. And that's the kind of the boat. This is called Ketu Vellam. It's a specific boat that is specific to Kerala. And so that's what we are going to be doing. And then our last bit is going to be in Cochin. Cochin, I showed you the Jupiter Vamana temple, Therakara. But this is the Fort Cochin. We'll be staying in Fort Cochin. It's very nice. You can walk around. There are lots of nice shops and restaurants. But we'll have an evening trip, sunset trip here on by the water and see the fishermen. And so these are the fishing nets to catch the fish. Kerala is a big fishing industry. They export fish to all over the world. And there's another sunset photograph by me. So that's our sunset boat trip. And this is, of course, God's own country. That's what they call Kerala. So you have all these old, beautiful houses in Fort Cochin, and very nice experience. And our hotels, and most of them, we'll be staying in Fort Cochin. And so again, the trip begins in POOVAR and ends in Cochin. International flights, you can get to Thiruvananthapuram and to Cochin. So you fly into Thiruvananthapuram, fly out of Cochin. What is the flight that comes in through Dubai? That's a very good airline to fly. All airlines will fly because you'll get a break. You can come to Bombay or Delhi or fly. So I don't know. I think I'm going to, I've forgotten the name of the airline, but that is what. So the hotels we are staying is Isolo de Coco. We've stayed many times there. And it's a very nice hotel. And it's in the, as I said, the sea is there, the backwaters are there. And we'll be going to the Nagercoil from there. We'll go further down to Kanyakumari and also visit Suchindran temple. And then we'll be going to Thiruvananthapuram, all from the Isola de Coco. Then we'll move from there to Sree, Kumarakom. This is my first time staying there. I looked it up, but I haven't stayed there. It's a 5-star hotel, again, on the backwater. So we are on the water. And we are going to go to Mannarsala from there, the Shani temple, the Surya temple, Shiva temple, all from Sree, as well as our backwater day trip. And then we'll go to Fort Cochin. There we could not find enough rooms. So none of the hotels are large. So you get like 10 rooms per hotel. So usually we have about 20 people. So Nimrana Tower House or Archers, depending on when you book. The ones who are booking first will get Nimrana Tower House. And the others, I love Archers, so I'm going to stay at Archers because I've always stayed at Archers. And most meals are included, from dinner on 6th February to dinner on 16th February. So lunches and dinners and breakfasts, all that is included. I think if you land on 6th February, then the 6th February morning, lunch is not included. And 17th February, breakfast is included, but not lunch and dinner because you check out after breakfast. So it's a comprehensive trip. Early bird ends on 17th of November, and the details are all on my website. So that is komilla.com. And so that is it for today. And I'm open for any questions you may have. So if we, anonymous attendee has asked if we are unable to make the trip due to circumstances, you can have, nowadays the temples are there locally as well. There are some temples you can do online booking. I think Mannarsala, you may be able to do online booking. I don't know because I haven't tried it. You can look it up. You can also look at local temples. But nowadays, a lot of the temples do online puja, so you can do. So Kathy has asked, should we arrive and depart from Cochin? No, you should try to get a multiple flight. So multiple city flight. So you arrive at Thiruvananthapuram and take off at Cochin. That would be the most efficient way to do it. You can arrive at Cochin, then take another flight to Thiruvananthapuram. But if you do this multiple city, then that would be the best.